On YouTube, I'm the Toff Man, and in this episode we're going to get into power, eventually. The precursor to pretty much everything in this pack. On YouTube, I'm the Toff Man, and welcome back to my Project Ozone 3. It's episode number 7, I do believe, today. And we're going to go through a few things in here. First and foremost, of course, is power and getting towards some form of power. But I'd like to show you guys really quickly what I have done in between episodes. I still haven't built the platform underneath, but I'll be doing that in the second segment of this episode. I actually made grass, guys, and the way that you do this is with dirt essence and nature essence. I finally made some using cacti, that is the correct plural to use. Also sugarcane, pumpkins and wheat, and we made 4 of them to make this thing here. So you've got the nature clusters, and you needed 4 of them in which to make the nature seeds. And of course that required 1 of each of them. So we did that, and we're currently doing them up to 10, 10, 10 over in the breeding area of our agricraft. But look at this. I've got somewhat of a start of a greenhouse. It's small at the moment. It will be extending that way. It will be extending that way. It will definitely be extending forwards here. But let me go through some of the plans I have for this place. So first and foremost, any 10, 10, 10 crop that we have will go in here. So obviously already at the moment we've got 10, 10, 10 of the essence, and we've got dirt at 10, 10, 10 as well. And the reason why I wanted to get the grass is, you see these little guys here, they will actually help the growth rate of your crops. Don't worry, guys, in here we're also going to have something, we're going to have like a second floor basically, which is going to be all about water and getting something like that, but on a much, much larger scale, I do believe. We've got so many seeds. If we look at mystical agriculture in here, we have so many seeds, guys, that we've got a lot of things that we can grow here. So I'm quite happy about that. But we do want the same thing as what we've got over here. Not necessarily. We don't need a load of these because they're already at 10, 10, 10. We don't really need to grow them that quickly. So in here, we're just going to have the usual. We're going to have the worms doing their job, and we're going to have 1 sprinkler set above the centre block of each of these farms here. So I think it's a 7x7, so we might be able to get away with placing it 1 above this this piece of water up here. So maybe there, and I think that it spreads out as far as all of these crops, so we can make them grow. We don't really need to grow them fast because they've got 10, 10, 10. They should be able to be they should be growing pretty quickly themselves. So maybe we only need the worms there. But I'd like to have 1 sprinkler just to make things look a little bit good, a little bit better as well. I've changed this little setup here. We finally got the agricultural journal as well, after I got 3 pieces of paper out of one of the bags that we got in the previous episode. And what I've been doing, guys, and this is a good time to show you actually, because all of these have grown, is basically getting all of my seeds, shoving them into here. They get fed into the seed analyzer. The seed analyzer then gets pulled out by this hopper into this chest at the bottom here. So we've got 755. We've got a 654, so that's worse. So we don't even need to worry about that one right there. And we've got an 855, so that one's better than that one. Of course, that one's the one that we started with, 554. So that's our best seed. Let's go ahead, plant it back down. And then this is basically what I have been doing. I'm not going to show you guys all of this on camera because I know that agricraft can get quite boring, so I'll do all the rest of that off camera there. And we've added to that over here. We are definitely going to have a central room in there that's going to have all of these essences inside there, because I mean this is going to end up massive if we don't do it that way. So I think we're going to have like a central room in the center of there, and that's going to have all of our essences. So that's pretty good. We've got a couple of quests to pick up because we've done these. So we've got the nature seed. Let's claim that one. We've got the stone seed, let's claim that one, and we've got the water seed as well. We've got a bit of a problem though. Ice seed, that will require for me to get ice, obviously, so we'll need some form of silk touch, and an ability, of course, to get ice. We don't have an ability to get ice at the moment, so we might have to do it a different way. And a zombie seed, I have no idea how to get these things, and the reason why is, oh, just put my rack away, the reason why is if we take a look at the zombie seeds, it'd be useful to get these, it really would. But the problem is, it requires these zombie chunks, which apparently you get a tier 1 mob chunk surrounded by rotten flesh. But how do you get a tier 1 mob chunk? I hear you ask. I don't bloody know is the right answer to this. We get a zombie chunk and put it into a furnace by the looks of things, and we get a tier 1 mob chunk out of it. So, I mean, there's no other way I can see of getting these tier 1 mob chunks. I mean, I just don't know. Maybe it drops. It says there's a 30% chance drop, but I've killed a few zombies, guys. I've killed a few zombies, and we desperately need an actual dropper, and I think I might do that in between the segments of this episode as well. I'm recording one segment on one day, and I'll be recording another segment tomorrow, so I should have plenty of time in which to get underneath here, get that secondary sort of base done underneath here. For all of our wires, all of our cables, all of that sort of stuff will be underneath. Which I've learned from doing my Not the Bees series, which incidentally, if you haven't seen, go ahead and see the last episode. That is definitely out by the time of this video. And let me know what you think, which was episode 22. I'm not entirely happy with the way that the quest book went, and it's caused me to just go, you know what, I think that's going to be it for the end of that pack, because if it's going to be a lazy quest book, then I don't see any point in doing this. And this is certainly not a lazy quest book, guys. Let's be honest. So I'm just working my way through here. Wood seed would definitely be something that I would be looking at doing it as well in between segments. So let's take a quick look at what these wood seeds are. Yeah, very, very easy to do those wood seeds. So I'll be doing that as well. I've just realised when it's been a blood moon that in fact, isn't lit up. And that's absolutely terrible news. I can't even get up there. So let me see if I can do it from here. Yeah, beautiful. So hopefully nothing's going to spawn on top of there. I can't believe in the blood moon that nothing actually did spawn on there. But there's been issues with stuff spawning places. So anyway, guys, that is going to be the end of this first segment. I'm going to come back in this next segment to get on with and start doing some power. And I think magmatic is probably the right way to go with what we've got available to us at this moment in time. All right, guys, I lied just a little bit. I've lied to you. We are going to still do the power system underneath here. I have built that now. That is ready and raring to go. Also, over here, I've built an area where hopefully passive mobs will be able to spawn. I have been here for a while now. Nothing has spawned on there. I'm disappointed, but what can we do? There you can see I've done it all in stone because, of course, we're going to be messing around with lava, and we don't want anything to be messing around and burning the hell out of the place. So we don't want that to happen. I have nearly, that one should be 10, 10, 10 by now, and this one should very nearly be 10, 10, 10 as well. But I've been doing a little bit of work in the thing over here. So as you can see, I have got some plots of land ready and waiting to be populated with 10, 10, 10 seeds. Now the only issue is I've been doing some maths, guys. If we go, I know it's terrible. If we go into here with mystical seeds, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then there's 10 rows of 12, so that's 120 seeds. But we've also got an inferium seed. It doesn't matter which tier we use. We're always going to be using the higher tier anyway. So there's 1, and then 2, 3, 4, 5 extra seeds. All the other ones are crafting seeds, so we don't really need to worry about them ones because we're not going to be growing them, of course. So that means 125 seeds all need to be grown in our greenhouse here. Of course, they don't need to be, but that I would like that. As a completionist, I do like the thought of having all 125 seeds to be 10, 10, 10. So I've been doing a little bit of maths, and if we go 4 in every direction, so 1, 2, 3, 4, you can see there, and 1, 2, 3, 4, you can see there. That means 8 in a row. God, this is going to be massive. So what we're going to have to do, we're going to have to do it on 2 separate stories, which I'm not too fussed about. It does mean that we'll have to mess things around. I mean, the way how quick, sorry, God, English, get it out. How quick these dirt ones grew back after I harvested them, I think only the worm is necessary. Especially when we get further on down the line, the amount of essence we're going to get is going to far outweigh, hopefully, we'll figure it out if not, it's going to far outweigh the amount of whatever it is, the essence we are going to need. Stone is now 10, 10, 10, you'll be happy to know, guys. So we need 15 rows of 8 to make this, well, 16 rows, technically, of 8 to make this happen. So I've got 4 here. Yeah, 16 rows. I mean, this thing is going to stretch on into the distance, so it needs to be 2 stories. This looks a little bit too thin for my liking, so I'm still going to keep going. And I think what we're going to have to what we're going to do is have 8 rows of 8 on the bottom, and then have another 8 rows on the top. So that would make 16 rows of 8, which, let me do this correctly. 16 times 8 is 128. So it gives us that little bit of space just in case we need another one. So you can see it. It's starting to take shape, is our greenhouse. But it will be 2 stories tall. So this is going to be very interesting indeed to see how on earth this build is going to turn out. But this is a side project. I say a side project. It's one of my big projects for this series, is to get that full. And it's going to look, it's going to look amazing, guys. I can't wait for it. I cannot wait for it. I've got everything I need. Cobblestone, glass. I've got infinite amounts of everything I need now. And of course, we've got an infinite amount of wood, dirt, all that sort of stuff. It's going to be great. And don't forget, we will have that central pillar at some point soon. In fact, let's have a quick gander at this, guys, because I think our central pillar will be here. Because we've got 4 here. We're going to have another 4 rows of 8 around here. So this is where our central area is going to be, with all of our drawers, all of our storage drawers and stuff like that. These things, basic drawers. We're going to have them in the middle, all 125 of them. So we've got expansion room, shall we say? Because this is one thing I never do in my series, is have enough room for things. I always cram them in and then think, oh, this is not big enough, and then I try to make it bigger, and then it's just a pain in the backside, guys. I don't know why this is not working. Can you guys, in the comment section, if you know why we're not spawning any passive mobs, please do let me know. It might be turned down. Who knows? I'd have no idea. But anyways, I'm going to carry on with doing this. I'm going to get the bottom row finished, going to get the central pillar done, and then I'm going to come back, guys, and we're going to start making some of the stuff that we need underneath there to start with our power generation system. But first and foremost, before we do that, I know we've run into a little bit of a problem before we get into our power system. This is to do with our power system, by the way, guys. We need, and I'm going to show you this now because I'm going to get this on the grow, we need shards of infinity, not shards of infinity, infinities, summits or others. They look like, a bit like that, grains of infinity, they're the ones. We're going to need quite a few of these, so I think it's time we got the seeds for the grains of infinity. Where's the actual grains of infinity? Do they exist here? I can see the infinity essence. I can't see the actual grains. Grain. It's there, look. Grains of infinity. And we can make loads of these with grains of infinity essence, of course. It's good. We need these grains. We need these seeds because when we're making the things later on, what do we call them? We're going to be storing all of our power in capacitors, that's the one. And these require these basic capacitors. Iron, not a problem. Silver, all these basic capacitors, not a problem. Redstone, not a problem. But in any of these... where's the basic capacitor? Them ones. In any of these, we need grainy capacitors. And these require a grain of infinity and 2 iron nuggets, so not a problem. We're going to need a lot of these grains of infinity to be able to use as many capacitor banks as we want. And of course, we do want to get into these extended ones, which require more. And you know what I mean, guys. We're going to have to get into this now while we can. So with that in mind, to get these, we need grains of infinity, but we need a tier 2 crafting seed, and we also need prudentium essence, guys. I'll show you. I have done this. So here, with our inferium infusion crystal, with 4 inferium essence, we can get prudentium essence, which is fantastic. We certainly need that. Now, we need, of course, as well, we're going to have to get, we can't get prosperity shard seeds, though, can we? Can we? We get prosperity seeds? No, I don't think we can. Not by the looks of things. We're going to have to keep going mining for these things. That's not a problem. Actually, it will be later on when we're... No, once we've got the seeds, it won't be an issue. So, we've got the base crafting seed. And I think... Do we place this around that? Or do we have to put it round the... So, tier 2 crafting seed, these things. So we need a tier 1 crafting seed, not a problem. So we basically put these around the tier 2. Now, watch this, guys, because we're going to complete a quest here. Ta-da! There we go. Lovely jubbly. Give me that music. So here we've got sheeps, we've got dye, we've got slime, silicon, sulfur, aluminium. We've got quite a lot of stuff here, guys, that we can start getting. Mystical flower seed. That would be nice. But there's a lot of seeds here. We'll be certainly getting into all of these. All of the seeds shall be mine, guys. Definitely. But with these Prudentium seeds, we should be able to see Grains of Infinity is, in fact, one of these. So let's put that back down there, because we're going to need another one of these. I think we're going to need 32. If maths is correct, which it never is. Ah, it wasn't. It was actually just that. Now, I don't want to use too many of them at the moment. I don't want to use too many. But, in fact, I'm going to probably leave that in there because we're going to be using that quite a bit. So, Prudentium essence around there. Now we need our Grains of Infinity. Somewhere I should have my flint and steel. Or do I? Actually, do I have steel? Because I do believe we do need steel in this. So let's see what sort of steel we've got here. We've got end steel, crude steel. Right, we've got two, which is thermal expansion steel, thermal foundation steel, should I say, which is smelting steel grit, which doesn't exist apparently. Steel dust from mechanism. That might be a good way of going things, but we need power to be able to do that. Oh dear. I think we've found our first problem here. What about tiny progressions? Oh, we can do it that way. Okay, that's really not hard at all. What's hardened stone? Unhardened stone. Yeah, we can do it this way. Okay, so steel ingot from tiny progressions. Thank you for coming to my rescue right here. We need a stone hammer, 6 coal, and 2 iron. And this stone hammer requires hardened stone, string, sticks. We've got all that sort of stuff. But we have to create this unhardened stone, smelt it down into hardened stone. Guys, this is going to take a little bit. Let me get all the stuff ready to be able to make 2 steel ingots and be able to make that flint and steel that we so desperately need. Well, thank you very much, Tiny Progressions, for coming to my rescue there with the steel ingot. I did not foresee that, but we've got it sorted anyway. Let me go ahead and put that clay away. Somewhere in this mess of inventory, we must get applied energistics or whatever. I think we've got refined storage in. I could be wrong. I do prefer refined storage, but it is very laggy for servers and such. Dirt will do for the moment. I'm just going to do a little crude staircase up towards this thing. We just set this on fire. Now, it has the chance, it's a 50-50 chance, guys, but when you set fire to bedrock, it'll pop off. 50-50 chance, guys. You watch. When it's on camera, it won't care. And it'll just go out with a little fizzle. No pop. Come on. Go out. Are you going to do all? Come on. Yes! Hey, it popped for me. Right, I need 4 of these guys to be able to make our grain seeds. I'll be back once I've done that. And here we are, the finished product, the Grains of Infinity seeds, our first tier 2 crop, which I am looking forward to getting into, guys. Oh my goodness, yes, there's the music. That wonderful, actually no, hang on a minute. Got to send it through here first to make sure that it's still 111. I'm pretty sure these are both 10-10-10s now as well, so we can get water added to our system over there, and nature seeds actually added over. The amount of blood moons you get on here is absolutely crazy. I think that's the only way that maybe mobs spawn in this pack. If you've got just a normal mob spawner, I think that could be the reason why we don't see any mobs. No passive mobs still. Maybe I've got to make the area bigger. I have no idea, guys. But Grains of Infinity seeds now planted, and I will do them up to 10-10-10 in the meantime. But for the rest of this episode, we are finally going to get onto what we were going to be getting onto, guys, which is, of course, power. And getting as much power as we possibly can to start with. So let me go through the plan. That is to get magmatic dynamos if we pop down here really quickly, is to get magmatic dynamos, quite a lot of them I should think, and get enough of these crucibles with the heat sand underneath that will just melt the cobblestone, because we'll have cobblestone generators. We might have a couple of them, depends how quickly they move, I'm not sure. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do yet. I've been umming and ahhing to use fluiducts to actually move the lava around and use a hardened fluiducts, because we can make invar now, that's not a problem. So I've been umming and ahhing whether to use that or whether to use the extra utils pipes. They don't require power in this pack, which is really nice, but I am unsure that I want to use them. I have seen people use the extra utils pipes to put cobblestone into crucibles, and sometimes that can be a little bit funny. It depends on how much cobblestone is being pumped in. Now, if we're using a couple of the cobblestone generators that we've got, it'll end up flying cobblestone absolutely everywhere. So it might be worth using the item ducts that you can also get from thermal expansion, these things, or thermal dynamics they're called, to be able to move them, that sort of stuff around. I'm hoping that it moves it around quicker, but I have no idea. I literally don't know, guys. What on earth? Impulse item ducts? I mean, what are those? I mean, it's been a long time since I used thermal expansion to travel items around. But that's what the plan is going to be. Them into magmatic dynamos, these things, which is of course why we've been making sieving all that stuff. We need invar, we need redstone, all this sort of stuff we can get. But the big thing, and the thing that's going to be in the centre of this massive platform here, is going to be our capacitor banks. And that is why we're going to be growing our grains of infinity. These capacitor banks, guys, are iron, redstone, and capacitor. We've already told you these. But and that will make us the basic capacitor bank. It will hold 1 million, which is really nice. We could go ahead and use the energy cells from thermal dynamics, thermal expansion. God damn it. These things. But I don't see any point. When you look at it, it's 1000 RF. Oh no, hang on a minute, it charges, you can hold 2 million RF. But the good thing with the capacitor banks is you can stack them, you can add them, you can put more in, you can take more out, you know, all that sort of stuff. You can do a lot more with it. I think it's more versatile. So what we're going to do in the centre of this big space that we've got here is have a big capacitor bank, and eventually we'll upgrade them, you know, so we've got a really good source of power storage. And all the magmatic dynamos, which I'm probably going to put along the back wall over here, will feed into this one central area. And then maybe we'll have applied energistics down here as well, so that we don't see all the wires kicking around. I don't know, guys, but I've got a lot of stuff to do. I've got a lot of stuff to make, which I'm not going to do on camera, because you guys have seen this 1,000 times before, I'm pretty sure. So let me get all them stuff together, and we will have a fully functioning power system by the end of this episode. I promise you, guys. Welcome back, guys. I have been busy, as you can probably tell in the background. The greenhouse is coming on very nicely. We'll go and check that out in a second. But I want to bring you back and show you a couple of things that I've been doing off camera. So you can see I've got some flint stiffened mesh being made up here, and that will be made into iron stiffened mesh as well, and I've specifically got 16 pieces. The reason why is I want to extend this out to a 5x5, and I need 16 more pieces of iron stiffened mesh in which to be able to do that. So that's why I've got that going on there. Still need a lot of string, but to help me in that, I've actually put a second plant here with a hopping bonsai pot with a spiderweb sapling inside there, and that actually makes us string as well as some more wood if we so need it, but we don't, of course. We've got tons, absolutely tons of wood in there. We've got more apples than we can shake a stick at, guys. We never need any more apples, that's for sure. Speaking of that, I need to cook some up, so let me go and grab some and shove them into our wonderful furnace, which I don't know if that actually smelts up 2 of these at once. So we'll soon find out. Anyway, let's go ahead and put that copper back in there. We need a place to be able to store all of our ingots and stuff. And you can see I've automated this, put some tiny coal in there, and that will go ahead and keep putting the tiny coal into the bottom slot there, which is good. It doesn't double it, but it's absolutely fine. Not that it needs it. So along here, guys, I've been making little bits and bobs. So I've got some item ducts to be able to move item around. I've got some fluid ducts to be able to move the fluid around, of course. And I need these leadstone flux ducts. Not only leadstone flux ducts, but I am going to make them into, there they are. I am going to make them into as many of these hardened flux ducts as physically possible. I've run out of redstone, which is why I wanted to make some more of this flint stiffened mesh. Going through that much dust to be able to get redstone is beginning to be a little bit of a pain, so that's why I want to make some more string mesh. But 9 should be, I think it should be enough for this moment in time. I really don't know, actually. Let's go and start what we were doing this whole episode for, and that is, of course, our thing that we've got going on down here. So we've got our crucibles, we've got our heat sand, that is the main thing, and I would like the heat sand under the floor, like in the floor. Do you know, you can see what I've done here so that it doesn't fall down. I don't think it's strictly necessary to be able to do this, and in fact I'm probably not going to do that anyway. Let's go and try and find this middle somewhere. So if we take a look up here, the middle would be somewhere in the middle of here. So I think that would be the middle. Right, down here like that. And I'm going to put them there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2 more on either side. That'll give us the 9 that we've got our crucibles for. Wonderful. Oh, I never showed you as well, guys. Let me show you really, really quickly. In fact, no, I'll show you when you get back up. The reason why I was able to make so many crucibles all at once there, it's really, really good, the way that I've done it. You guys will like it. I'm just going to use some heat sand for the moment as building material, because I've got... I can't use that as building material because it hurts. It hurts a lot. So we're going to need to go upstairs anyway to get some more blocks to be able to stand upon. But I need some other bits and bobs while I'm up there, so I may as well show you what I've done with the clay. I've moved the bucket over here. I thought to myself, you know what? I'm sick of doing this. So I automated the entire process. We've got a sink, and on the back of this sink, we've got our transferring over some fluids, putting it into that barrel right there. And on here, I just put the dust, and it spits it out into this chest underneath here. So you can see I've got clay that I've made into actual pieces of clay, and our unfired piece there as well. Magmatic dynamos, I've got enough to make 5 of them at the moment. I don't think I need any more of that at this current moment in time, but I've got enough to be able to make basic capacitors with our grains. I've got plenty of grains growing in there now, which is great. And where are they? There we go. And I think I've got enough to make 4 basic capacitor banks, which I'm quite happy about. And we will take a look in our greenhouse. It's not entirely finished just yet, but it is getting there, guys. Very slowly, it is. Oh, I've gone all the way up there for some building materials, and I haven't actually picked any up. Let me go and grab some out of this chest over here. Lovely. That should be it. Still no signs of life, and my goodness gracious me, I've been playing on this world for quite some time now. I've actually done it the complete and utter wrong way around. I was meant to do it on this side, not this side, but I think it should be absolutely fine anyway. I don't think it's going to make much difference. Right, so we want this to be full of cobblestone, so we're going to put our cobblestone generator right there, and our item ducts, wherever they are, there they are, with our hardened servo. So we're going to pop this somewhere that looks a little bit like this. So hopefully it'll be able to keep up with everything here. This is what we're testing out, because I have no idea whether it will or whether it won't. So let's put the hardened servo onto there. Decrease the stack size. It's a blacklist. Let's just go ahead and ignore that. So that should now be starting to fill these up with cobblestone. It's not exactly hugely fast at the moment. I'm hoping it's going to be quicker than this. That is for sure. I mean, it's filling these 2 up first, which is fine. It's whether or not it will fill everything up quicker than I made the tier 3 one, so it's definitely the diamond one that I've made, but it's whether or not these item ducts are fast enough to be able to fill those up there, but we'll soon find out. With that now in mind, guys, I've got some fluid ducts, and I've got my magmatic dynamos, which incidentally don't want to be faced that way. Let's go ahead and put them like this. So 3, 4, 5, and I should be able to place them on the back here. Oh, I might need a crescent hammer to be able to do this, guys. It seems that that might be the case, which is fine. Oh my goodness, have I got my... no, I haven't. I need a crescent hammer, which I believe is silver and iron, if I remember correctly. Look at the size of my greenhouse. You can just see it on the map there, how big. I mean, that greenhouse has taken me forever. And I'm really surprised that in the time of making this, nothing has spawned on our grass platform over there. So let me just double check, make sure nothing can spawn here. Because, yeah, something can actually spawn there. So let me take that off. A crescent hammer. Let's go and make one of those and spin these bad boys round. Nice. I don't know if we're going to have enough hardened flux ducts for this. So, a crescent hammer. 3 iron, 1 tin. Well, maybe not silver then. So 1 tin. We've got iron. We've got as well kicking around somewhere. There it is. And I made a load of these in the floor, guys. I hope you don't mind. We've got that many different things being made now that I think we could have just put the hardened flux ducts down. Thinking about it, I think we could have just placed them down and it would have automatically faced towards them. Well, we're soon going to be finding out because I'm going to do that right now. No, that's not what I wanted to do. But it's a good job I made them anyway. Nice. Okay, so they didn't. That way. Nice. So that's that. Fluid ducts, of course. Let's go ahead and put them all on these. So they're nearly all full now, actually. That's good. I don't know if this is going to be an issue or not, but we'll soon find out. So these servos are just going to be placed on here. I don't know if these need servos or not. I'm pretty sure that they do, which is why I've made them. And of course, we can just go ahead and ignore all of this. You can see they're getting turned on now, which is fantastic to see. And lava is being taken out. Fingers crossed, guys, that this is going to be... We might need some form of buffer. That's probably a good idea, so that it can make more cobblestone as we're going along. But you can see here that... I don't know if cobblestone's being placed in there and it's just getting sucked out that quickly. Because I can see the cobble. It's sort of in there, but it's not. Let's have a look inside there. So that one's full of lava. 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 And that one is indeed full of lava as well. Making the RF. Fantastic. 26 RF per tick. Not the best in the world, but still. And this is going to be placed smack bang in the middle. Which, if we do a little bit of a cross walk here for where the middle is going to be. Right, that one is right in the middle. So, we've only got 4 capacitor banks, so that one's going to be placed there. And then I think what we're going to do is we're going to go around in this sort of fashion. And that's how we're going to keep it. Now, let me just put that down here. Press F7, make sure that nothing can spawn, which at the moment it can't. But I'm just going to go ahead and place a couple more, because why not? So hardened flux ducts. Have we placed this in the middle? Yes, we have. Look at this. It's beautiful, guys. We need a couple more hardened flux ducts. We need just a touch more redstone, and that's creating a load more for us. That's great. That's good news. This can now hold 4 million RF, which is the equivalent of 2 energy cells. But don't forget, we can upgrade those capacitor banks. We need more redstone. I don't think I have any. I think I used a lot of it. So 15 we had, which we might be able to use here just to be able to make enough of these. Seems that that is the case. Brilliant stuff. Let's go ahead and plop that back in there. And we've got enough hardened flux ducts there to be able to reach the power, which is the main thing of what we wanted to do today. And then this power will be distributed pretty much everywhere. So Ender IO is in the pack, and I would love to use conduits going forwards, guys, but we're going to need power in which to be able to make some of these conduits. So conductive iron, for instance, we can actually make that. I didn't realise. It doesn't say what. Alloy. Destabilized redstone with molten iron. So I believe we just melt the redstone with iron and we get molten conductive iron. So we could have gone straight with the energy conduits there. We're probably going to exchange these out. These are temporary, these hardened flux ducts, but it's enough to be able to get the power into this here. So if we go and configure this and say, look, input, now we're starting to get enough. What is the input of that's going to be? It's peaked to 800 RF per tick going in, but I'm pretty sure once this is finished that that's not going to keep up with the amount that we're actually getting in here. So 200 RF per tick, it's not the best, but it's not the worst either, and it's a really good start for us to be able to go forwards with some of the machines. Definitely Ender IO is something I want to start with, because all of this ME conduits and all that sort of stuff, I think OC conduit, I've never heard of that. Stellar Energy, what? 2 billion RF per tick? Oh, that's crazy, man. Energetic silver. So you can see crystalline pink slime, melodic energy conduit. A lot of energy can be transferred here. Stellar alloy ingot. That is absolutely crazy. How does one even make that? Stellar alloy. I have no idea. Nether star, melodic alloy, and clay makes stellar alloy. 2000 micro infinities. Apparently that's the thing. Have we got... Right, they're energy conduits, which is fine. Crude energy conduit. Is that like... Okay, it's just really bad. ME conduits, that's fine, that's great. And dense ME. Now, one thing I did want to see is, have we got... Not RF tools. Refined storage. We haven't got refined storage. It's going to have to be... it's going to have to be ME, Applied Energistics, which I'm not a massive fan of. I don't like the way that channels work with Applied Energistics, but still, we've got dense. Dense conduit is a thing, so that's not terrible, I don't suppose. We can get them sort of stuff on Autocraft as well later on down the line. But this looks like it's going okay, actually. It looks like the amount of lava is far outweighing the power that can be stripped out of that lava as well. So 200 RF per tick, and it's constant, it's solid, we don't have to worry about it. That, to me, is a good start for us, guys. Power is definitely what we needed. Okay, so let me really quickly, to end this episode off, I'm going to have a look through my book here. Oh, look, guys, I've got a zombie trophy. How ledge is that? I also got some cobbled soulstone, because to get mob chunks, I apparently need solium ingots, which apparently come from soulstone. Somewhere along the line, I don't know. But in here, I do have my book laying around somewhere. There it is. The Better Questing book. Lovely, because we've got a few things to... there we go, look, I've managed to get that, so let's claim that. And I've also managed to get black quartz, because of course, I think it was last episode that I boiled that down into some smoky quartz. We haven't started doing that just yet. Prudentium crafting seed, let's go and claim that as well, as the grains of infinity. And wood. And... I think... Is that it? Well, we haven't got to the thermal frames yet. We've got a lot of these. This is what we're going to be starting on. So thermal frames will definitely be coming in the next episode. This might not be a bad idea. Starting on some of this stuff. Mob grinder, wither builders, all that sort of stuff. The wither builder is going to be quite useful going forwards. I don't think we've done anything else to write home about, guys. At least nothing that's been caught up on here as of yet. That's something that we definitely need to get into. Applied Energistics is definitely something we need to get into. With what we've got going on in the greenhouse, Applied Energistics, I think, is the logical next step. And in next episode, I think we're going to come back and start some of that Applied Energistics. or whatever. If the applied energistics requires other bits and bobs that we don't, I mean, let's have a quick look, actually. ME control is a good go-to to see if we need anything different. So Skystone can be made with Skystone Essence, of course. Or Skystone Dust with Lava makes the Skystone. Okay, so that's probably something we want to get into automating next time. In here, guys, and I'm going to do this on camera for you guys so I can see. As a quick end to this episode, we're going to see what we get from a full harvest. Not quite a full harvest because this guy hasn't actually regrown back yet. But let's just take a look here at what we get from a full harvest. I mean, look at this. Dirt Essence, nearly 2 stacks from one full harvest of 9 single blocks, guys. Same with the Water Essence. I mean, I'm not going to do that with the wood there. The Nature Essence as well. Let's go and crap all that. Crap all that? What on earth am I saying? Cram all that into our inventories. Nature Essence, nice. I think that's the only one that we can harvest at the moment because the rest is still spreading around. Grains of Infinity. Let's go ahead and... We do get some slight lag in here, and I think it's just because of the amount of these blocks that I've used, because I've done it in the corner. I've done it on the outsides as well, just to be... Oh, look at that. It's beautiful. We need to possibly upgrade that as well in the future. That one's still got to spread into the middle there, so we won't take that either. But... the central part, you come into this central part here, guys, and this is where applied energistics is going to come in very useful because we're going to have it plugged into here at some point soon. Hopefully, I don't know if we have to have just the external storage connected to this or whether we or not we needed to connect to all of these drawers, because if you look at the top there, if we store some stuff, we can't reach it, guys, unless I make like a little pathway going across there, and it's probably not a bad idea. But I just come along and I just right click that and everything gets put into the right place. You can see around the back here we've got frames, trims should I say, that connect all of these little bits and bobs, and of course we've got it on this side. So 128, I do believe, of these basic drawers are here, and that is for one of every single seed possible in the mystical agriculture, and we'll definitely be working towards that, guys, don't worry. We've got this sort of like a spiralish sort of staircase along the side here going to all the rest of them, and we've got enough here. I do believe it's 126, which is in one more than enough of what we need at the top here. So I haven't finished the top layer. I haven't finished all the glass just yet. I've been sort of doing that in between, in there somewhere. But as you can see, guys, this is looking great. I'm quite proud. I'm quite pleased with what I've managed to create so far. And I do get slight lag spikes when I'm in there. So we're just going to have to deal with that anyway. I don't have anything currently being grown, but that will definitely be changing as the episodes go ahead. I think I've got everything I wanted to craft today. We can make some more of those once we've got enough for the capacitors, which I think redstone is the only thing that we're waiting on at this moment in time. Actually, redstone seeds. They're a tier 3. So intermediate essence and a tier 3 crafting seed. We'll get to there at some point. Anyway, guys, that is going to be it for the end of this episode. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you have, please go ahead and leave a like, guys, and I will see you next time. Till then, I'll be the Top Man. As always, stay safe.